with Kim Alter of Plum in Oakland. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
So tell me about Plum. It's part of Daniel Patterson's restaurant group, and you previously were at one of his other restaurants. So tell me a little bit about the restaurants as a whole and Plum.
We're trying for, at least, delicious food that we have some technique to, and just that people want to come back for, craveable.
And how are you approaching Plum differently from your time at Haven?
Well, Plum is a much smaller restaurant, so we can be a little bit more refined. We have a smaller staff. We can really just focus on the plates and what we're putting out.
Daniel Patterson's restaurants really run the gamut from very fine dining to more casual. How do you see your style of cooking fitting into his style and all of the restaurants fitting together?
Well, what he is looking for, I mean, we converse like all the time and like talk about how Plum can be its own identity, but at the same time we have the same standards as, like, let's say Qua.
Right.
We're not as casual as Alta, his newest restaurant that opened up, or as Haven now. We're kind of like in between everything. I would say that we have, just like I said, the same standards, the same quality. I go to the market 6 days a week. We do all the same stuff at, let's say, Qua.
And you're really known for going to the market and being very market driven. And is a lot of that from sort of your California background, or is it, you know, your mentality as a chef?
Well, both probably. When I'm at the market, I can just, walk around and grab what I want, and I can change my menu, change a dish like on the fly. And you kind of have to be a little bit more organized and disciplined, I think, if you don't have that. So I would say that it's part of me.
Right, and Plum isn't necessarily known as being California cuisine, but how do you think being in California affects the restaurant beyond just the produce?
Well, I think California has the stigma of the whole market, and I mean, I'm constantly saying I'm there, I go 6 days a week, but I think that Plum, I don't know, I would say that we're turning it more into a California style restaurant, but we're just a little bit more modern.
And what does that mean for diners? I think California cuisine, has meant certain things. It's really evolving. How do you see that California cuisine evolving?
Well, I'd say like California cuisine is almost turned into New American. It's not really specific anymore. It just kind of like is evolving constantly, and I think that it's just taking the direction of being a little bit more refined and simple. Simplistic is definitely what's going on right now, at least in San Francisco. People really just focusing on a couple ingredients and doing them perfect, and just so you can really like taste the vegetable or taste the duck or whatever it is that you're cooking.
And so with the move from Haven to Plum, you mentioned that you're changing the menu entirely. Is that a long process for you? Is it something that's happening quickly? Is it an evolution at Plum?
I would say that I changed them. Daniel says that I changed the menu a little bit more than I should. I just kind of, because I want guests to come in and have something new if they've been there before, so I'm constantly wanting to change. And I'm so loyal to so many farmers that if I can't get something from one farmer, I normally want to change the dish because I know exactly what that potato tastes like, and if I can't get that one, I probably want to just rethink what I'm doing. So I kind of do change my menu, maybe a little bit more than I should, but it helps me evolve as a person and as a chef, like being creative and constantly thinking.
And let's also talk about Oakland versus San Francisco. Do you find that the diners, even just, a bridge away, have a different sensibility, they want something else, or is it, really just location and everybody kind of is in the San Francisco bucket?
I would have to say, even going from Haven to Plum, the diners are different, which is only about a mile away from each other, which is insane to me. So I definitely, again, Daniel says I shouldn't do this, focus my menu more to the customer. Like I normally always have a chicken on the menu or a pasta because that's what people I've found like to eat in Oakland. If I was in the city, I'd probably, I don't want to say be more daring, but I'd have a little bit more leeway. Oakland isn't as populated as San Francisco, so you want to get those diners to come in, and sometimes you need to, cook more for them. Not that I would ever not cook for the customer, but like a little bit more than I think some chefs maybe in San Francisco would.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here at the James Beard House and talking to us about Plum and California cuisine. Really appreciate it.
No, thank you for talking.